broker for seniors. So I specialize in Medicare plans. That's kind of my bread and butter. I do long-term care insurance and short-term care and life insurance and things like that. But you know, Medicare is kind of my thing. This morning I'm going to kind of talk about, very briefly, about what I do, what I'm doing right now, because there's a very big enrollment period going on right now. And just kind of what I talk to people about. I put together kind of a little packet that I'll kind of go over just again very, very briefly. But I just want to explain to people about Medicare, and so that if you do come across people that either you're related to or clients of yours, you know, you can kind of maybe fill them in on what I do or somebody that they can talk to. So basically, somebody turning 65 or is already on Medicare, what I'll do is I'll sit down with them at their home. Right now, between October 15th and December 7th is the main Medicare enrollment period for most people to make a change. So it's a very, very busy time. I've referred to this before when I spoke, that it's kind of like an accountant in their tax season. It's a very crazy time. I do a lot of seminars at restaurants for some insurance companies that have asked me to do that. I have usually 5, 6, 7 appointments most days, so it's a very busy time and very lucrative, to say the least. But this first sheet right here, I just thought I would kind of explain so people kind of know exactly what happens for people on Medicare. So people on Medicare, they get a red, white, and blue card that is sent to them as they're turning 65. And basically, long story short, through Medicare, they get 80% medical coverage is what they get. So that's good, and most people pay $104.90 to have that, and so that's good, but that leaves 20% uncovered. Well, they can have their 20% covered a couple different ways. I mean, they don't want to not have coverage because then they owe 20% for everything, and you know, who knows what that would be? You know, 20% of what? It could be thousands and thousands. So people can protect themselves. Well, one way is if they have their employer group coverage, okay, and they want to keep it. That's certainly their choice. But this first sheet actually shows if they don't want to keep their group coverage, if they're not working, they're turning 65. This is in a big book that people on Medicare get. It's called Medicare and You. So they get a book to read. People get bombarded by literature. They get phone calls. They get hammered by all kinds of stuff. They really don't know where to call or what to do. Obviously, if you call a specific company, you're going to hear a song and a dance about why that's the best choice for them. So with me being a broker, I kind of give them an overview and break down exactly what's the best choice for them. So this front page shows you that there's only 2 ways to have coverage, all right? So if somebody needs an individual health plan, they're on Medicare, the left column, what would happen is they would keep their original Medicare, buy a prescription drug plan to go with Medicare, and then buy what's called a Medicare supplement, okay? And a Medicare supplement is a premium that you pay that's going to pay the 20% that Medicare doesn't cover. So when people go this avenue, they have 100% coverage, and they can go to any doctor that they want to. They don't need a referral. It's kind of a simple way of doing it, but it is costly to do that. Usually a Medicare supplement can cost $180 to $200 a month on average. If they're in their 80s, then it's definitely $200 or $300. And a drug plan is usually about $30 or $40 a month on average. So going that way can be somewhat of an expensive way to do it. On the right side is called Medicare Advantage plans, and these are going to be an HMO or a PPO type of a plan. And Medicare Advantage plans is what I am enrolling a lot of people into. People who already have one and want to switch to another one, or they were doing the left column and they're just tired of paying what they pay and they want to go with an Advantage plan. Now the difference is, an Advantage plan, many of them actually do not have a monthly premium. And they're not free. There's no scams, no funny business, but they literally are $0 because Medicare pays that Advantage plan to take over the person's health care. So a lot of people who have this, they love that they don't pay a premium, obviously. So the difference is they'll have co-pays and have a network like an HMO or a PPO that most people are familiar with. That is a very, very popular way because Advantage plans do have vision and dental, and they have a really popular silver sneakers. It's called gym membership. So people can go to the YMCA or Curves or Gold's Gym 24-Hour Fitness by having an Advantage plan. So they can be a very advantageous way to do your health care. So that is what I'm doing a lot of right now. People that are, again, tired of paying what they pay with the Medicare supplement. Okay? On the second page, and again, I'm just going to kind of fly through this, something also I do throughout the year and during this time is what's in bold letters. People who have a Medicare supplement, which was that left column, such as Mutual of Omaha or AARP United Healthcare or Blue Cross Blue Shield, I will sit down with them, and little do they know that all of the insurance companies cover the same exact thing. There is absolutely no different from company to company. The only difference is premium. So I'll sit down with somebody and I'll say, well, guess what? You're paying $263 a month. Well, this other company is $213 a month, and it's the same exact coverage. And nobody has ever sat down with them to explain that. Something very common seniors do is they get a lot of stuff in the mail, and then they'll call one company, they'll send an agent out, and then they'll enroll, and that's fine, that might be a great choice, but nobody really explained to them all of their choices. So that is something that I often will sit down and say, guess what, apples to apples, same coverage, cheaper premium, you can save $500, $600, $700 a year. You know, something very similar that Gary probably does when he sits down with people with, you know, home and auto and the other people in the insurance industry like Mick. You know, they can sit down and show people how they save money. So Medicare supplements have been around for years and years and years. The next page is just really explaining what a Medicare Advantage plan is. This is something that explains it very well. I kind of gave a quick breakdown of what it is. But it's another way a person can get their Medicare coverage. You know, it's kind of an all-in-one type of a plan. They do a lot more than a Medicare supplement and original Medicare. A lot of people just sometimes don't have anybody to explain it to them. You know, they, again, maybe they've had the same insurance for years and years and years, and they just like that company and they want to stick with that company, but maybe that's a great choice, but there might be a much better way to go about it. And then the last sheet is kind of what I'm doing a lot of, and these are a couple of the companies that I enroll a lot of people into, a ton. As you'll see, there's a plan called Essence, and then there's Coventry, which most people know Coventry CHP. And right below that are all the different co-pays of the Medicare Advantage plan. So people who enroll into this, like that second column, the one that says Essence Advantage HMO, the premium is $0. That is a very, very, very popular top-rated plan here in St. Louis for seniors. It's not available for individuals, but you know, you can kind of see what they do. The maximum out of pocket, the one that's in bold letters, is a number that I emphasize to seniors how important that is, because the maximum out of pocket is the most that they could spend for the year if they had a really bad year. So all these co-pays are all adding up throughout the year, and if they had a really bad year, for example in that one, they cannot spend more than $2,300. So that's a very, very good option. That's not a deductible, and I just tell people, look, you know, all your co-pays, you cannot spend more than that. And in a lot of cases, if they have a premium plan, that left column I pointed out on the first page, their premiums may be $2,500 or $3,000 a year, whether they step foot in the doctor or not. So I just show them, hey, you can go about this a different way. They're probably familiar about this avenue, but nobody just really explained it to them and how it actually works. And these include drug plans. They have very, very good drug plans, and as I mentioned, it has a lot of other features. But you know, this is what I sit down with people. It's, you know, similar to individual health care coverage, where you have co-pays and things that we all, with our insurances, that we actually have. These do not have deductibles though, so that would be the difference between an individual health plan. So, you know, that's pretty much, you know, what I do. You know, success stories that I have actually happen for me daily, because I'm usually sitting down with somebody that maybe is already on Medicare, and I'm showing them a different way that they can do their health care. And often, I mean, somebody I was with yesterday, the husband and wife, I saved them $5,000 a year. And that's because they're going to go about their insurance a different way. And that happens all the time for me. I mean, it may not be as much as that, whether they save $300 or $400. I see a lot of people on a fixed income, and money is a big deal. So those of you who, you know, have parents or, you know, grandparents that are still alive, you know, most of them are on a fixed income, and they need somebody to maybe help them save money, which is what several of us do in our industries, is helping people save money. You know, like Stuart with mortgages, and again with Gary and Mick and so on and so forth. So what really separates me from the competition is, you know, I really take my time, and I have the patience, and I'm very thorough. My wife is still baffled at how I have the patience to sit down with seniors. She doesn't understand that, because I've been a very impatient person in my life. But hey, it's my career and it's my job, and I will listen, and if they tell stories, so be it. But you know, I really, you know, break it down on very, very simple, easy to understand terms of exactly what I do, what they can do, and what all of their options are. And I can pretty quickly help them narrow down to what the best option for them is, not for me, but for them. And being a broker, as some of us are brokers, you know, you feel like you give them the honest answer of the best way to go about things and not just do a song and a dance for one company, kind of a thing. So, again, right now is a crazy time until December 7th. You know, again, I'm doing all kinds of things, and, you know, I wish it went all year, but it's just a little short window that Medicare gives people. But, again, if you know of anybody turning 65, maybe they're already on Medicare. Really, honestly, anybody over the age of 65 is a great candidate for me because I do have other products that I can discuss with them that may or may not benefit them. Not to just sell them something to sell them something, but things that would be very, very beneficial should they go into a nursing home or need home health care and things of that nature. So,
8,000 people every day